By the time we reached 28th of May, we had actually already been hard at work for 3 weeks on the site. We'd already started work on all the groundworks. As you can see, quite a lot of work had been done to clear trees and move fences and clear shrubs and chop trees down and all that sort of thing. The weather didn't help us some days. We had a lot of heavy rain early on, and although later on in the summer it did improve considerably. But this was the site just after we'd started work. Day-to-day job obviously goes on as normal. We're just on the south side of Sunhill here, right next to the grouse and the all-weather gallops, and this is the site where we're doing some log cabins. We've got 4 log cabins being built. The smallest one, or the honeymoon suite if you like, is coming here. So this will just be a 1-bedroom one with a pond outside. And then the other 3 are a little further down the way. So it's a really exciting project, and we've just started about 3 weeks ago. Been held up a little bit by the rain. That stopped us somewhat getting some of the earth moved, but they're cracking on now and there's a road going in. So another 3 or 4 weeks and the logs will be arriving from Lithuania, and the guys will be on site to start building. The bases are now going down beginning of June, and we were under a little bit of pressure because at the end of June the logs were due to arrive from Lithuania and another team would be on site. So the boys were under a fair bit of pressure to get the groundworks completed in time, and obviously they had to get all the bases concreted and try and get the road in, which kept getting flooded every time it rained. Here is our trusted Barclays bank manager Brian and his guys coming to have a look to see where their money is going. It was their money at this stage. The pond there, that's the road, just starting to take shape a little bit. This was the base for the cabin now known as the Woodlands, which is the largest of the 3, and the road, the entrance at the top of the hill there. 14th of June, and they're still concreting. The other team were due to start work on the 26th or 7th of June, so obviously all the concrete bases had to be in on time and set correctly. They were a good bunch of guys that did the work. Carl was particularly fussy in making sure everything was obviously very level, and they were working to some very strict plans that had been sent over, and obviously fairly strict guidelines as well. This cabin that they're laying the base for is the one now known as Spindrifter, which is the smallest of the 4. That's the 1-bedroom cabin, which is right on the end, and obviously Harry was never too far away there with his rugby ball. Horses carry on doing their work, led in front by our best horse that year, which was Willie the Whipper. He's a group horse, and George, who would normally be seen to best effect on a racehorse, was there on a quad bike kindly lent to us by one of our owners, which enabled him to keep mobile while he had his leg was broken in 2 places. Here's a gang of ladies that I'm showing around that had come to have a look at the yard, and they enjoyed seeing the horses first. And then the log cabins, 27th of June, and bang on time arrives the first lorry load of timbers from Lithuania. So this was a really exciting time. There were an awful lot more lorries than this one to arrive, but this was the first one. Dave Winchester there, seen driving. I think that was his favourite toy, this great big JCB that they used to unload all the timbers. Everything was labelled, really well labelled, and it was very interesting watching them work. I mean, they're an incredibly professional group of people, and they did a really, really good job. But the timbers all come, as you can see, labelled each one, and they have to be stacked in order, and they know which timbers are supposed to go where. Two days later, and we're already up to sort of sort of hip height, I suppose. At the end of June, this is Spindrifter just starting to take shape. They carefully load all the timbers one by one, and each timber is insulated in between every single piece of wood, so everything is really, really well insulated. The boys worked so hard. They worked 7 days a week for 10 weeks and 12 to 14 hours every single day. They barely took a break, and just to have some food. They had breakfast on site, lunch on site, dinner on site, and would disappear when it was dark. And they said they would get the job done within 10 weeks, and they did. It was a big achievement. As it turned out, we had only 5 months to complete the project. So we started in early May, and we were open to the public on the 4th of October, which was extraordinary, really. I think at various stages throughout the project, I didn't think we'd manage to pull it off, but we did. And obviously, the day job of training horses goes on, and I spent every morning in between lots up here, so but luckily we're very close to the yard, so it didn't create too many problems.
Well, I mean, are you weight?
No, not at all.
Shifting a bit now, aren't they?
Yeah, not bad, is it?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what he said. This one fills.
I mean, you look at this. How big's a 3-bedroom going to be?
Yeah.
When you look at the size, the length. I mean,
I can't tell you now.
it's going to be pretty. Because it's sat in the corner on its own. When you get this bit of hedging in here, it's going to look, and the pond done.
Yeah.
It's going to look really nice. Be able to sit out there on a nice evening and yeah. Oh, they've got window in.
The electricians were always on site at this stage doing first fix and then second fix, and obviously the plumbers, they moved in. We had a big team of people, but they're all people who've worked for us for a number of years anyway, mostly, so we're all very familiar with one another, and they know what we needed to achieve, and were very, very helpful in ensuring that we achieved, we got everything done as we wanted and on time. This is the pond that was almost a bit of an afterthought, really. While the digger was on site, we decided to dig a big area out and create a natural wildlife pond. George is there with his, he's broken his leg in 2 places, tibia and fibula, and dislocated his ankle. This is the very, obviously the water starts to be pumped in from our borehole now, so this was an exciting time. We've reached the 10th of September, and it's hard to believe now that that within 3 weeks we're opening to the public. We've got a very large full book, thankfully, of clients booked in from October the 4th. So it's really important that we get everything pulled together. At this stage, even I was getting doubtful. Because the rain had come at a very bad time, and it was really difficult to envisage that we would actually be finished on time. Fortunately, by the 1st of October, we were just about there. The pond is looking fabulous. The turfs are all laid now, and it's suddenly come together almost as if by magic, but there wasn't too much magic involved, just an awful lot of hard work. We shared a weekend with our owners, drank lots of champagne, and made sure that everything was in good working order before the big day on October the 4th. And George got very busy with a paintbrush, and he laid all the turfs with the lads off the yard. Roger there, the joiner, he came in to give us a help and make sure everything was finished, and looking spick and span, and as we'd always planned it to look. The finishing touches while they were taking place outside, and obviously finishing off the landscaping, we were very busy inside finishing the interiors and getting everything delivered, the fridges, and making sure the beds were in on time and all the furniture looked good, the blinds and everything else. So the insides now look just as good as the outsides and are very luxurious. I think we've managed to achieve the 5-star standard that we were aiming for.